Okay, I want to thank you all for coming. Today we're over in Malden. It's Malden, is it Malden? It's
Malden.
Okay, whatever. With PJ and Paul Luke, members of the Paul Luke rock and roll band that played at Woodstock '94.
Correct.
So
That's just Bob.
we're going to ask them about what it's like to some memories and this and that. So how did you guys get into being picked up? Paul, you told me your band was around for quite a while.
We were around 15 years by that time, 14, 15 years. And so we'd heard rumors like everybody that, this event was coming to town. And we thought, we would throw our hat in the ring and just, by word of mouth in those days, no social media. So, and then PJ can tell you the story about how Jimmy Eppert spoke with Michael Lang and
Well, fill in that with that.
We didn't know what was going on. Nobody really did. We had some people, like Debbie Grzinski, who was working with us, helping, book gigs and things like that at the time. And as the story goes, when we got the call that we were in, and later on, this wasn't at the time, we didn't know about this. Later on, talking back, I mentioned Jimmy Eppert, who's playing with us now, but Jimmy Eppert's son, Joey, and his other son, Josh, were playing in a band called Three. And Three was Michael Lang was behind that band. That group of young guys, three-piece. And when the town decided they were going to add another day and they were going to bring in some of the local talent, they wanted to get who they considered to be the most popular bands in the area. And the question came up, who's the most popular band in Saugerties? And Jimmy said, no brainer, it's the Paul Luke Band. Everybody in Saugerties at that time knew the Paul Luke Band, And so that's how we heard, that's how we got in. We got called, we went up there to the site and signed contracts. It was a big exciting thing for us, we thought this was going to be our big break, but
and by this time we were all in our, late 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
And so we didn't have any rose-colored glasses for, that this was going to be the, some mysterious discovery was going to be made here about us. But we were hopeful that, somewhere along the line we would get some notice and, picked up with some record label or whatever, but, that didn't happen. We're not disappointed.
Oh, wait a second. Don't I have a CD here?
Oh yeah, we have our own label in that, but Catskill Mountain Rock Records.
Oh, well, yeah. That's still available today, isn't it?
They're all available.
I just had, for this upcoming event,
This one right on your drum there.
yeah, I had the, thank you. We had the live cut that was recorded from the board on the show. At the time, we weren't allowed to use it because we had to sign releases, they were planning a movie and all this stuff. And we were hoping, maybe we'd get on the album. I'd never seen the album to this day if it ever happened, the Woodstock '94 thing. I saw 169 had it, but apparently the story was Woodstock '94 was supposed to have one of these too. And we were hoping that at least one or two of our songs would get put on it, but it never developed. But nonetheless, I had the recording of our live show, and I just dug it out, found it when we started talking about doing this 30-year anniversary, and I just got it back today. I put that on, I took it out, had it worked and edited, and we got it in a CD, and it's just the exact songs we played.
And this is available. How does somebody?
We'll have them at Opus 4017. We're playing up
come
there,
to Opus
right?
40 or contact Paul or PJ and you can get a copy of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Get ready to, what you call it, to Their own auto, okay. All right, now I'm gonna come back. I'll edit all of that out.
Okay.
All right, you got any other interesting stories?
Well, we probably have quite a few stories there. I can tell you that once we arrived at the pickup spot, and then we took a bus into the site. You remember this?
Yeah.
And we had no idea by then how many people had showed up on Friday. By Thursday night or Friday, and this is Friday. Hundreds of thousands of people were there, and we just were on this bus, made it to the back area, and then we still had to wait. It was a lot of waiting time going on, so the anxiety and the nervousness and whatnot, and I knew that we all felt that to some degree. And when we were on the north stage and setting up, and then they made that turn, and then we looked out.
Explain the turn.
Well, there's a turnstile on the north stage that, as one band is performing, in the back, on the opposite side of this turnstile is another band being prepared, and they're set up, and then the entire stage rotates as that band finishes their last song. The next band comes right out. It was a great time saver. We went in, we did our, I think it was a 30-minute set, something like that, 6 songs. We were able to squeeze in there all the original stuff that we've written. And, but I will say that I was just relieved at the last note, and we could walk off that stage because it was...
Wait. You told me a story that is definitely they would like to hear. You were busily setting up, and you were all ready, and they started rotating the table, and then continue from there.
The stage, the whole stage.
Oh, when we came out, and we came out, we just saw a sea of people, and the MTV banner and whatnot. It was for us, it was surreal, and anybody in that environment would be. But it was I felt like I was way out of my league here.
I'll tell you what, that we didn't have any concept of a stage like that. We didn't know that it would turn when we got set up. I was sitting there setting up, and they had a deck and put the drums on. We had our band truck, and all the equipment came out, and we were setting up backstage. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, because this stage that they have me put my drums on is on wheels, right? I'm saying, okay, we're going to do this, then they're going to bring us out through the wings out the front. I hadn't seen the stage operate because we weren't allowed to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
They were rotating the bands in and out of there. So when we got up there, the guy says, okay, where do you want your drums? Okay, so I said, okay, yeah, right here is a good spot. I didn't know that there was another 20 feet of stage in front of where my drums were. So my drums are way back. And then outside, beyond that turntable,
There's 20
was
feet.
another 20 feet of stage, And so we were sitting way back, because we didn't want to upset the apple cart or to get the road crew or whatever they were doing. We didn't know anything. We never been like that. We played in bars, right? So now the stage, we're sitting there and I'm walking, and you're getting your earphones, and you hear this, and yeah, hit the bass drum, and I'm doing the sound check, all the drums and everything, one bang, 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 all of that. And next thing I know, I got butterflies into my stomach. The whole stage starts moving, and it spins around. It's like, that's when I realized that we're on a turntable, And it spins out in front of the crowd, like Paul said, man, there was thousands and thousands of people. There's no turning back, right? And that was the only time I felt nervous, until he started. And he started strumming the first song. It just went from there. Once we got engaged, it went away. I felt good the whole time. The only thing I felt bad about was that we were so far back. I could see people in the audience that we knew and stuff, friends and so on. And I just felt we were too far back, If I had to do over again, I would have run right up to the edge of that wheel, and had the drum set there, But it was just so good. I never heard my drum sound so good. It was like thunder, The sound was unbelievable,
One of the interesting things I found about that stage is that it was in fact rented. not built for it. And at the end of the episode on Monday, that entire stage had to be packed up and moved to another facility, another thing by Friday.
Wow. That's amazing what they do with these guys, you know, and that's the only time I ever seen turntable stage. I've been on a lot of sound stages since, you know, but nothing like that.
We and one of our friends that was behind backstage with us that we got in there was a pilot, one of our friends. So the next day after the show, he and I went up in his plane and I took pictures, aerial photographs of the site. We got when everybody was gone. Apparently during the show there was a no-fly zone.
Yeah, no-fly zone over there.
So that was exciting, and we like we said, we had plenty of opportunities, but nothing was like that. Nothing like that. And anybody who performed there, and even those of us who won't go down in history as any million-selling
legendary band.
Legendary band. But there are a lot of people who perform there that we can say, look, that was a chance of a lifetime. We did it. We were happy. And the people who were, if there were, we just feel like the entire event was a positive thing for the entire area. It wasn't negative. I've talked to many people before. Before and since, and it was a wonderful experience for the town. There might be a few people who were upset about certain things, the traffic and whatnot, but by and large, these people were coming from all over the world to just have a good time and spend a weekend. They wanted to bring back. They wanted to live.
They're trying to recapture '69.
Yeah, recapture '69, and and that's what they wanted. But that was their generation of younger people who wanted to do that, who are now 50.
The things that I found by interviewing people, a lot of people who also were at '69. '69 was the results of the race riots and the Vietnam War and this and that, and people in '69 came out with all of these wonderful, peace-loving kind of things. That was the mantra of it, and it was a life-changing thing for the attendants of '69. They grew up and had kids and kept talking to kids about how wonderful '69 was. Now, 25 years later, these kids want their own. And they created, and Michael Lang and the crew put together a good combination of a lot of old guys like Joe Cocker and Santana and this and a couple of new groups that attacked the new kids. So it was a good blend of it.
And Green Day
and Green Day, yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you had Jackal was out there.
Wonderful groups. Both, like you said.
The Paul Luke band I heard was there.
We were there. We did.
Was it Orleans was there? And then Orleans was labeled as a local band. And Orleans was from this Woodstock area.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this stage that you're talking to was originally built for the Pope.
No kidding.
Didn't know that. The turnstile?
The turnstile paper, the first one to use it was the Pope.
Wow.
My mother would have liked that. Your mother too.
All my mothers would have. Yeah.
Well, there were a lot of people who probably, were just concerned about making as much money as they could, a killing on, selling stuff or whatever. And maybe there was some of that, but for the most part, it was a pretty positive.
Well, for us.
Pretty positive thing for everybody.
For us, it was just over the top excitement to play and a thing like that. We signed contracts, and I forget, we were going to get paid a certain amount of money, which I don't even know if we ever got. But we didn't care. We weren't there to make,
Couple bucks.
dollars. We were there to make a name, to experience that, thing. And that was our thoughts were before we actually got on the stage, like days before setting it up. like I said, I'd worked there with Tom Sutton, Plumbing and Electric, and we were doing outlets and things like that. There was all kinds of local people working there building this thing, you know. It took a lot of
It was
people.
good for the economy.
It was good
Oh,
for
yeah.
Builders,
good.
contractors.
Town got a new town hall out of it.
Yeah, well, whatever they
Got some
got.
funding that came towards
They
the
got
town.
it, you know.
And I commend the, at the time as town supervisor, Jim Griffiths, great guy, and he was, he's since passed, but he was a good guy. And we had no say we didn't even go to any
Well, I
meetings
think-
or anything like that. We just stayed out of anything like that, so that if we got the call to perform, we didn't want to act like we had some personal
Yeah, we
agendas
weren't
to
like
do
a
that.
play,
But we were supporting it, from behind.
One thing I want to tell you,
Go.
I don't want to leave this out. Now, right now, okay, you got me and Paul, Chris Schneider was the bass player. He's retired from playing music now. There was Mario Yascardo, who's passed away, and Smoking Joe Abdullah. Breaks my heart.
Great guys. They're right here.
But anyway, so here we were, out in front of the MTV interview stage. Okay, they had a little tent. They were interviewing these bands that came off. Now we had already played. We're waiting hours, and they're going to talk to us. So we're excited. Okay, we're going to do an interview on MTV.
They interviewed each band.
Yeah. But they kept bypassing it. Bigger name bands kept going. Okay, Blues Traveler came out, and the Blues Traveler guy was a harmonica player. Okay, and Smoking Joe, he was playing harmonica, and we got to talk to him. But what it was Joe. They found out it was Joe in 1969 because they asked the question was, "What do you think about Woodstock 1969? Were you guys there?" Joe said, "No, I was in Southeast Asia, scared to death."
Yeah.
They didn't even know it was going. It was like 1968. He was on a gunboat in the Mekong Delta.
Well, if you want
Yeah.
to be on.
And that's what, so now when they found out about this, now they want to talk to Joe about the Vietnam War and all this stuff. And Joe's like, he doesn't want to talk about the Vietnam War. He wants to talk to this guy from Blues Traveler about playing harmonica. John Poplar, right? So that was where it was. So they said, okay, we'll get back to you, because it was unique that he had been, but he said he didn't even know about it.
So I when in 1969, I was in the Western Pacific in a submarine off the coast of some place that I don't remember, and we got a teletype in about this big festival going on someplace in New York. And by the way, my hometown was Saugerties at the time. And he said, Woodstock, they had these 100,000 people showing. And I'm going to that's the same Woodstock that's right there. And that's how I found out about it.
Can you think of 100,000 people in Woodstock for real?
Oh, by the way, here's an interesting fact. Saugerties, New York was the third largest city in the state of New York for that weekend.
Okay, yeah, because all that people, amazing. All these things we didn't, know. I mean, we're not good at interviews, obviously.
You're doing pretty good.
But, some of the stuff, it was a time, it's 30 years ago, trying to remember that stuff. But I just wanted to make sure that Mario and Joe, who I wish they were still here with us to share in this, And I think that when we lost them, like Mario, I think we lost some of the flavor and some of the heart of the band. We had such a tight band.
Especially when you start out with nothing and you get
and we built this thing together, and we were like brothers, all of us. I mean, it was like some of the places we went and the things that it was a comedy show half the time. It was always positive, always good. And that day that Mario passed away, just like suddenly, I was like, ripped my guts out. Just thinking about it upsets me now again. And what the band would have been if him and Joe had survived, to be here now. Maybe that big break we dreamt about would have happened with them. But it put a big dent in our life,
Maybe you've got some opportunities, because I understand you now have a new fiddle player
Yeah,
joining the group.
Yeah, we got
Tom,
a
our
Tom.
friend Tom.
Okay, so we're going to play a couple songs with the three of you guys,
Okay.
though we don't
My
have
guitar.
everybody. So I'll move out.
Play here or go
Yeah,
there?
well, it doesn't matter. go where you're gonna go, because I'm gonna push the stop.
Well, the ships pulled in side by side, they're keeping with the maritime. There goes the freighter bound for home. I don't know much about tying knots, and I don't keep a running log, 'cause I'm just a sailor alone. I'm a sailor of the road, I run my course as I go. Stay ahead of the rain and snow, I don't want to catch a cold. Sailor of the road, I don't mind being alone. Stay ahead of the women and folk, I'm a sailor of the road. You can always tell when the fleet is in the harbors full of drunken men. I've got longing in my bones. Things go good and things go right, we're gonna make it through the smoky night. I'm just a sailor alone. I'm a sailor of the road, I run my course as I go. Stay ahead of the rain and snow, I don't want to catch a cold. Sailor of the road, I don't mind being alone. Stay ahead of the women and folk, I'm a sailor of the road. You can always tell when the fleet is in the harbors full of drunken men. I've got longing in my bones. Things go good and things go right, we'll make it through the smoky night. I'm just a sailor alone. I'm a sailor of the road, I run my course as I go. Stay ahead of the rain and snow, I don't want to catch a cold. Sailor of the road, I don't mind being alone. Stay ahead of the women folk, I'm a sailor of the road.
I always liked that song. I still
Thank you.
think I still like that one, 4/4. Only one here, 4/4. So I think it's one of Paul's best songs, I think, right here. This one.
This is
It's called All I Want to Hear Is One More Song. Try that one.
I spent my early days listening, gentle along my mind. I listened to Elvis like I listened to them all. All I want to hear is one
More song.
Raindrops keep falling on my head, and Ruby took her love to town. Taxis flying high, so high in the sky, so high. Angels fly too low to the ground. All I wanna hear is one more song. All I wanna hear is 4/4
wanna hear is one more song.
If I could put time in a bottle, tell me who'll stop the rain. I'd only close my eyes and go to sleep tonight, tonight. I leave on the morning train. All I wanna hear is one more song. All I wanna hear is for time. And all I need is heaven and the stars above me now, now. All I wanna hear is one more song.
All right.